Hi guys, Mandy here, and little Miss Wren. She's looking so cute. I just changed her into this outfit, random mix match of different things that I had, but I thought it was so super cute together. I always forget because I have 4 babies now, so you know, a different baby every day, or the baby of the week. So I hadn't picked up Ren in a little while, and I just picked her up to move her to the spot, and I was just like butter, melting butter in your arms. This, the twin A and twin B, I would assume is very similar. Just melt in your arms, like just love this baby. So I gave her a little cuddle and got her all snuggled into the little pillow so I could have a chat with you. Happy Friday. My dogs are swarming me. They're not in this shot, but if you hear slobbering and heavy breathing, that is my pug. Oh God, she's got issues. But now I lost my train of thought. Roxy, go. So it's Friday. Sorry, Rennie. I wanted to do a book chat with you. You all know my love for books, and I love chatting about books and sharing with you the books that I'm reading or have read recently. And I love when I get comments of, oh, I read that book too, it was good, or oh, that sounds good, I'm gonna get that book. I love sharing the love of books. I actually just stopped my Owl Crate subscription for a minute, and I switched it to the Junior. They just came out with their Owl Crate Junior on a regular subscription basis, and I just ordered 3 months of that for Emma. So she just got her first box the other day, and Gracie, enough. And sorry. I hope you can hear that, otherwise it's going to sound like I'm a crazy woman talking to myself. I guess technically that is what's happening right now anyway, when you think about it. So she just got her first book box the other day, and she has already started reading the book that came with it, and she says it's really good, and I can't wait. I'm excited because I might give it a read too when she's done with it. But the new subscription box is geared to 9 to 12-year-olds, so it was really fun. Check out their Instagram, Owl Crate Junior, to see little pictures of what's inside the box and stuff, because it's really fun. Anyways, so without further ado, I'm going to first chat with you about Heartless. If you remember, that was a book I got in my book box a few months ago now, and it's been a while since I have finished reading it, but this is the perfect time to chat about it. So this was a book by Marissa Meyer, and she is the author, oh, it says right there, Lunar Chronicles, which you all know I've talked about. Big fan of that series. So I read this book, and just like any other book written by Marissa, page 1, you're already like enthralled. She has a very beautiful way of painting the picture perfectly for you. I don't know, actually the next book I'm going to talk about is exactly what the opposite of this. So have you ever read a book where you're just lost because the author doesn't do a good job of describing the characters or setting the scene for you? Like, that is really important in a book. I know personally for myself, when I read a book, I either am an observer and I'm like watching it, or I get really close to one of the characters and I honestly feel like I'm that person for the time that I'm reading the book, and like it's such a grand and wild adventure. So I need it to be really detailed, and Marissa is amazing at that. So this story, if you remember me telling you when I first got the book, it is about the Queen of Hearts. So think about the Queen of Hearts before she became the Queen of Hearts, before she became evil, before she was a young girl, just like you and me. She was 17 once, and she had love, and she had heartbreak, and she had decisions to make, and this book takes you on a wild roller coaster ride. I love getting the backstories of some of my favorite characters. This was amazing. Marissa, I read somewhere that she had this idea for a while, so she stooped on this for some time, and I'm so glad she was able to put pen to paper because it was amazing. Now, I will tell you, when I first started reading it, and I could tell where it was going right away. Obviously, she had to have heartbreak. She couldn't just have a picture perfect life, because how would that equal the evil queen that we know and love to hate? So I knew some things were going to happen. I already knew, but I didn't know how, and I didn't know what else was going on. Along with, so the queen at 17 is Kath, and she is a young girl who her parents want nothing but the best for her. They want her to be queen. The king has shown interest in her, and the mom is doing everything she can to get her daughter to be proposed to by the king. But Kath doesn't like the king. He's older than her. He's silly, and she doesn't want that. And just like every good love story, she falls in love. She falls in love with the Joker, Jest, and you will love him. You just want to know him. You want to be in Wonderland, I guess, or Rock, Turtle Cove, where they are, but you just want to know these characters in real life, and he is funny and charming and witty and sexy, I guess, if you will, if we're gonna go there, and so you just want the best for them, but that's not going to happen. And there's also a story within a story. There is the whole Jabberwocky and how that becomes, and it's just awesome and crazy, and they go on an adventure to try to stop this, and the choices she has to make, the heartbreaking choices when you get to that fork in the road, and it's just insane and awesome. And I love this book, and I definitely recommend it if you are into fantasies, if you're into fairy tales, if you love Alice in Wonderland, you will love this book. I promise you. Okay, so that book was awesome, and I totally recommend it. Now, the second book I just recently read was Wrinkle in Time. Now, this is an older book. I had actually never ever even heard of it. Where's the copyright? The original copyright, 1962. So it's an old book, and from what I read, because I have a Goodreads app on my phone, I like to put the books in it that I've read, just so I don't or even the books that I bought in my to be read pile, because I've often doubled up on books, and Jordan gets so mad at me when I do that. Anyways, so I was reading comments from people who have read this book, and it seems to me like it is a book that is read in grade school, English kind of thing, and I thought it kind of sounded good. 3 kids go on an adventure. They're trying to save their father, and it's good versus evil kind of thing. I thought, oh, that sounds like a good read. Oh my God, was I lost. I don't know. I've never read anything by this author, and I know there are other books to the series, but I will definitely not be reading them. Let me know if you have read this book, and maybe you read it as a child, or were had it read to you. That's where, sorry, stumbling on those words. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way it was written. I didn't like, the first little bit was okay, but then once they started going on this venture and they were in outer space and different dimensions and stuff, I was so lost because there was no real description of things, and there was no real, you never really knew what was going on. And they had to save their father, but why was he there in the first place? And you never really get these answers. I guess you're supposed to just think above and maybe think go deeper and I don't even know. I don't know. I was lost, and I I only finished reading it because there is going to be a movie coming out. Mindy is in it. I was going to say Mindy Lahiri, but that's not her real last name. You know who I'm talking about. And Reese Witherspoon and Oprah, and I thought, I gotta finish reading this because this is insane. And if there is a movie, I want to see it, and I want to see how they make that into a movie, because it's just like way beyond that craziness. So it'll be interesting to see how that gets portrayed on the big screen. But please, if you have read that book, please let me know what you thought. Maybe I'm alone in this theory, this feeling that it was not the book for me. But anyways, so books that I'm reading now, I'm reading Fangirl, Rainbow Rowell, possibly. I have, if you remember last summer, I read Landline by her, which I loved, love, love, love. So I picked up Fangirl. I've gotten a good chunk. I still got a fair bit to go, but it is really awesome. I can't wait to do a little review chat with you on this, but this is a good book. No spoilers if you read it. I know this book's been out for a while. I also picked up, and I'm reading just little bits at a time because this is a poetry book, Milk and Honey. It brings up a lot of feelings, a lot of triggers, so definitely not the book for everyone. But I've never read a book of poetry before. I've read poetry, you know, little snippets of poetry here and there, but never a full book of poetry, just sat down and divulged, and it's actually really beautiful. She also draws pictures with her poems as well, and they're beautiful, and it's just it's really good. It is good, just very triggering, so not the book for everyone. My camera is telling me to stop talking, so I will chat with you all again soon. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope you have an awesome weekend, and the weather's nice wherever you are. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.